we're going to be making the copycat version of Little Caesar's pretzel crust pizza. So I'm going to be making this particular recipe in my Breadmaker, but before I get started, I'm going to take 1.5 cups of warm water. Now this is just warm tap water. I'm going to be adding 3 tablespoons of active dry yeast and 2 tablespoons of sugar. And the reason I'm doing this is because I want to get this yeast proofed and just make sure that it's nice and bubbly to put into our Breadmaker. Okay, it's been about 4 minutes, and as you see, there's little bubbles that have started to accumulate on the top of my proofed yeast, and there's like a little line where you can tell it. The yeast is good. I'm going to go ahead and pour this into my Breadmaker, and make sure if there's any clumps of yeast that you get those out, because you really need the full 3 tablespoons of yeast. Now what we're going to do, this is such a simple recipe. There's no oil involved, nothing like that, but we're going to be adding 4 cups of flour, and this is just an all-purpose flour that I'm using. You don't have to sift this. Just put it right in out of your flour pot. And then the last thing is I'm going to add 1 teaspoon of salt. Now I use pink Himalayan sea salt when I cook, but I do have some other kinds of salt that I use when I'm seasoning my food. So now we're just going to set it on the dough cycle. So I'm going to let the Breadmaker do all the work this morning. I actually have my grandkids every morning. I get to enjoy them. It's part of my amazing time that I have being retired. And so I'm going to let the Breadmaker make the dough. The dough is just going to sit in the Breadmaker until I'm ready to make it later today after I take them home. So we'll come back a little bit later as soon as the dough's done, and we'll start putting our delicious Little Caesar's pretzel crust pizza together this afternoon. So it ended up being a lot longer time with the grandkids than I planned, which is amazing. I always love spending time with them. But our dough has been sitting in the Breadmaker all morning and half the afternoon. This is great to show you because it'll just show you how you can kind of bring it back with a little bit of flour and kneading and that kind of thing. So this is our dough that I just came home to. It's just been in here for quite a while, so I'm going to show you how I'm going to bring this dough back to life. You're going to be amazed. All right, I'm going to put a little bit of flour on my breadboard here, and I'm just going to pull this dough out. Now this is a little bit more flour than I usually am going to work with, because I just want to get this nice and pulled together the best that I can. Now this pizza dough is going to make a 12-inch round pizza, and it's going to be really delicious. If you've ever had Little Caesar's pretzel crust pizza, you're going to love this one. Now look, just from this short amount of kind of pulling this together and putting a little bit of flour in it, it's coming together really great. So this is going to be perfect. This is exactly what we want. So all I'm going to do is start spreading this out into kind of a little ball. You want to make sure you have plenty of flour under it. And we're going to shape this into a pizza. And you can see it's nice and spongy, and I mean, it just looks like it's going to be an amazing pizza crust. So I'm actually going to get my roller out. I want to get this into a nice little round pizza. Now I kind of always make these a little bit bigger than the pan. And the reason is because they kind of shrink up a little bit, and I want this one to really have more crust on the sides because we're doing the pizza crust. Now, as you'll see, we're going to have kind of a fat pizza crust on the outside. That's exactly what I was trying to accomplish, because this is going to be our pretzel on the outside. So what we're going to do now is we're going to do our outside coating of our pretzel. And let me show you how I do it. It's really kind of fun. So for this next process, I've waited 10 minutes since I put my dough into the pizza pan. I'm gonna take a half a cup of really hot water. I actually boiled mine. And I'm gonna add 2 tablespoons of baking soda to that. And you're gonna see it's gonna kind of fizz up a little bit. And I'm just gonna take a brush. I'm gonna mix it up really good. And I'm just gonna take this and brush along the outside inch of this pizza crust. I just want this covered in this baking soda water. All right, so I'm gonna go around the whole thing and just get this all completely coated. This is what it's gonna give it, that really yummy pretzel-y flavor that you really love from a Little Caesars pretzel crust pizza. Be liberal. I know it doesn't come out real easy. Then the next step you're gonna do is that you're gonna let it stand 5 minutes. So we're gonna wait another 5 minutes, and then you're gonna sprinkle it. I'm gonna use kosher salt, but they have pretzel salt you can use. Any of those work fine. So we're gonna wait 5 minutes, and then I'm gonna sprinkle the crust. Meantime, I'm gonna take some queso dip, and I'm gonna use a little bit of my homemade salsa, and I wanna mix some of this together. But you'll see when you open this doesn't really have the consistency of the salsa conquisto. So it's got a little bit of stuff in it, but we're gonna go ahead and I'm gonna heat this up a bit. I'm probably gonna take about a half of a cup, heat it up in the microwave for like 15-20 seconds. Then I'm gonna add some of my salsa to it, and it's gonna be absolutely perfect. Okay, my cheese dip is a little bit more melted. As you can see, it's real easy to spread. I'm actually gonna take a little bit of this salsa, and I'm gonna put this in, maybe about a tablespoon of this. And that's about the consistency that I'm looking for. Okay, it's been 5 minutes. I'm gonna go ahead and sprinkle some coarse salt right along the edge of this. But you don't want a pizza that's overwhelmingly salted. It's already gonna have a lot of salt and the cheese and all these other things. So now another fun thing I think I might try next time is I'm gonna get some string cheese and I'm gonna roll it into the crust and try to do one of those cheesy crusts. I thought that might be kind of fun next time. We'll see how everybody likes this one. I'm not quite sure how this is gonna go. All right, so here we go. Now we're gonna go ahead and put our softened queso dip right over the pizza. We're just gonna spread it like you would a tomato sauce. Just like this. Wow, that smells so good. Boy, this is gonna be really delicious. And I'm gonna take it all the way up to the edge. I want plenty of sauce on mine. Now we're gonna take a Mexican cheese blend, and we're gonna add 2 cups of this cheddar cheese right over the top. Now I'm gonna kinda guess this package is 3 cups. So we're gonna make it super cheesy because we're gonna use 2/3 of this package. And then we're gonna just cover it with pepperoni. All right, 1 more pepperoni, maybe 2. Let's see if I can fit 2 more in here. I think I can. All right, that looks pretty darn delicious if you ask me. So I'm gonna go ahead and put this in the oven, and I'm gonna cook it between 16 to 18 minutes at 4 1/4. And I'll be back and show you the pizza as soon as we're done. So this is my pizza fresh out of the oven. It just looks incredible. So the last step before we let this cool a few minutes and eat this is to brush some melted butter right along the edge of the pretzel. This is decadent, I'm not kidding. My whole house smells so good. So there you go, pizza's done and it looks so good. It smells even better. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and cut a slice of this pizza and give it a try. I'm gonna cut a little piece of it here, and then I'll cut the rest of it in a little bit. so it can have a little bit more time to cool off. To me, pizza isn't pizza without a little bit of Parmesan cheese, so I'm gonna put a little bit on there. I love the crust. It's just nice and browned. And okay, I'm gonna give our Copycat Little Caesars pretzel crust pizza a try, and I'll let you know what I think. Holy guacamole, Batman. That is good. 1, 2, 3. 3 thumbs up. So delicious. Well, if you're not a subscriber to my channel, give me a like, a thumbs up, and subscribe to my channel. I really appreciate it. I'd love to have you as part of my family. Give this pizza a try. Don't go out anymore and buy this when you can make this delicious pizza at home. You're gonna love it. Your family's gonna love it. Your dog's gonna love it. So thanks again for joining me, you guys. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.